Hello, horse players. It's Friday's edition of the Oaklawn Capping Hour. I'm Steve Simonovich. This is my brother Marco.
Howdy.
And I'm getting over I was down there for 2 weeks, Marco, and I'm just getting over a sickness. I caught something down there, some kind of an Arkansas bug.
Yeah, it seems like everybody's getting sick. I had a bug. The wife had a bug. Now my son has a bug.
I probably gave it to you guys.
Little rest and fluids and on your way.
Yeah. This is Friday's edition. We got a awesome guest for our Saturday show. It's going to be Dylan Donnelly, the great Dylan Donnelly. So he'll be joining us. He loves Oaklawn. He likes the big fields, and can't wait to hear about. I talked to him earlier today. He's already capping. He's got everything all laid out.
Nice.
So he's getting ready for Saturday. But before then, we got Friday show. So let's recap a little bit though from last week. NHC news, not much going on. I played a Friday game. I hit one capper and couldn't put anything else together with it. I didn't play over the weekend in any tournaments. Did you play in anything?
I hit a feeder, but then I didn't handicap for the card, so I just kind of went random on a bunch of stuff and didn't even really follow along with it. So
yeah,
it was just too much going on.
Well,
too much time that I didn't have.
Well, I'm 18th on the tour still. Dylan's making a push. He actually finished third in that Friday game. He got probably close to 3,000 points for that effort, I would imagine. So the tour ends, I think, on the 24th at Monmouth. I thought it was going to end with Hawthorne, which I'll be going to next week for 2 days. I'll be playing the 3 Friday games this Friday, and then the following 2 weeks, and then Hawthorne, and that's pretty much it. I'm not going to make the trip out to New Jersey for the Monmouth contest. I'm going to be down by you for the Rebel. And we also have the 2-year-old fillies running in a maiden special weight that day on the undercard. So I'll be coming down there for that. The Southwest, what were your thoughts on that? Mystic Dan was awesome. Got 101 buyer speed figure. The Lucas runner I picked ran a noble second, but got buried, really. Was it just the slop, or is Mystic Dan a really good horse?
Well, congrats to the connections there, Ken McPeak and BJ Hernandez. That was actually pretty impressive, regardless slop or not. The way he won was, it was pretty dominant. So
yeah, it was.
I would like to. Well, we're going to see him again here at Oaklawn. So beat him if you can. An 8-length winner was very impressive. And Just Steel, I thought he ran pretty much the way I wanted him to. So
yeah, I thought Just Steel. I didn't think the race was going to be that fast. So Just Steel ran his race, and if Mystic Dan doesn't show up, I think Just Steel would have won. But that wasn't the case for sure. So we'll see what happens.
My pick Carbone didn't show up the race, so
yeah,
very disappointing. And I'm probably going to fade him going forward.
Yeah, I don't know who's going to go in the Rebel, because keep in mind the Rebel's going to come up a little quicker because the Southwest was supposed to be run a week earlier, or two weeks earlier. I can't remember because of all the weather and the cancellations. I know the connections of Mystic Dan are skipping the Rebel and going straight to the Arkansas Derby. So I heard that news. ROI. Man, I'm killing it. Plus 135. Mythical $2 win place on all of my picks. Marco, you are minus 121. However, you were instrumental with your 39 one shot that you picked underneath for our pick 5 that we hit for $4,600. I posted a ticket on Twitter. So
Yeah.
yeah, if you would have put that one on top, you'd be even.
Well,
but
there's a couple that just say, if I went the other way, I could be looking at a nice even or in the positives. But I don't really mind. I mean, I do. It's for the
we
show
won a lot of
purposes
money.
here. But I did win some cash, however. So the negative, it's negative for here. Yeah, my top picks aren't winning, but sometimes you got to know how to put the combinations together and get a winning bet. Picking winners and betting are two different things. Some people are good handicappers, bad betters, which is I'm usually a bad bettor and a bad handicapper. So
Nah, you're pretty good handicapper.
no, but yeah, you just got to know how to put the tickets together. And then I'm still learning a lot about ticket structure and bringing home the bacon. So this weekend was a good example of that, and I'm actually pretty happy about it.
Yeah, we were not bad handicappers or bad bettors
No,
last
I
week.
was just
That's for sure.
throwing a
No,
fool.
we did really well last week and built up the subscriber list. A lot of people were like giving us a little pat on the back locally over there. So that's good.
When you hit some gargantuous exactas and doubles like that, I mean, if people bet them, it helps out.
Yeah, I had a $51 winner on Sunday.
Oh, the bombs.
No. Actually, Friday I hit a $51 winner. Sunday I hit a $60 winner. And I hit the only Mac Robertson winner. I had a nice analysis on that one. What was the name of that horse already? Excite Diva or Extreme Diva. I forgot the name of the filly, but
yeah.
But yeah, it was good. We made money. We did good. The weather, Marco, this weekend is probably going to be similar to last weekend. I don't know. It might be a little bit more patchy, but
no, I disagree. I don't think we're going to be having a big, sloppy, heavy, muddy track. I saw we're going to have scattered Thursday throughout the day. That's what I saw, and I don't think it's going to be enough to saturate the ground and keep it muddy.
All right. Yeah, it says PM showers.
Sometimes when I see the weather report like that, it don't even rain at all, and it just kind of goes. Or it might rain for an hour.
So maybe Saturday might have a little bit more give in the ground with the PM showers. Who knows?
Yeah, like Friday night, I think we're supposed to get some rain after the races, maybe into Saturday. But then we'll check that out, Thursday or Friday.
Okay. Well, we'll play tomorrow.
By ear. Yeah, Friday. Half the time, these guys are way off anyway. So.
Well, you never know. I mean, Hot Springs, it's notorious for getting rain, so we've had a lot of off tracks, and we've been handicapping as such.
Well, I'm playing it as a fast track. That's how I'm handicapping it for Friday.
All right. Well, with that, on that note, let's dive into these races. Race 1. Let's see. Race 1 is $7,500 claiming event. And these are for fillies and mares. We both landed on the 2 horse here. Why don't you start us off?
Then you're on race 2 there.
My bad. I landed on the 8. So the 8, this is what I saw in this race. 7 trainers in this race have 0 wins on the year. If you go and look. Now, one of them hasn't had a start yet. And another guy in there, I think, has less than 5 starts. But there's a few in here that, Timothy Martin's 0 for 36. You have, Manley only has 1 start, and he's a good trainer. He's 0 for 1. Ian Jewell, 0 for 6. Kim Paul, 0 for 26. Tammy Hornsby, over 23. Now Tammy is over 23, but this horse at 8-1 intrigues me a little bit, and I think she might get her first win of the meet. I'm trying to beat Asmussen, who looks like he might tower over the field. I see that you picked him on top, and I threw Asmussen underneath. But this horse here, the best race came at Remington, coming off the pace a little bit, where I think there might be a little bit of pace in here. And it's exiting some really tough races. Starter allowances for 10,000, A other thans, for 140. You look at that race 2 back. I mean, that was a really tough race. Backyard money that day pretty much crushed with over an 80 buyer speed figure. So I think this is where this mare wants to be. Like, she's with her friends here. She should perk up a little bit and run those numbers, like she was running at Remington at the very least. Now, she did run at Louisiana Downs this cheap. The number didn't come back big, but she did win. So I'm looking for a better effort from her. And De La Cruz used to be, he's 4% on the year. This guy used to win a lot of races at past meets at Oaklawn. So I'm just kind of anxious to see him get in a groove as well. So that was my thinking there. And then obviously I threw Asmussen in as the backup play, the 9, who's your top pick.
Yeah, I was actually looking at Abby the Bulldog for a little bit and maybe looking at see if she can close into this. And then I was just looking, I wasn't really a big fan of this race. And then I was just like, what the hell am I doing? Vartan's going gate to wire. He's the outside of the other pace players, Awesome Birdie and Koala. I like his chances of getting the lead today.
Do you think he'll go gate to wire in here? Okay.
I think he's going. I think he's just going to be faster than Awesome Birdie and Koala. I think he's going to get out there. But you never know which one is going to wake up feeling good in this race and firing a winner.
Mm-hmm.
It's that kind of race, these kind of horses. But Asmussen owns and trains this horse. His son rides this horse. I think he's going to make sure this horse is good before they send him out there. And let's see if he can hold on the whole 6 furlongs. And him on top. Tenacious Lady, I thought was another one that can pass some horses later and get into the maybe exacta.
Yeah, I like Tenacious Lady. That's a nice little running style. Has run on fast and off tracks. Has won on both. So second off of a layoff too. Was claimed out of the Diodoro barn. So got to see if the new connections can keep that one together. Beat Ball Gown last time, who I picked and came back and won. So
I'm going to add one more thing. There's a reason why some of these trainers don't win, and then races like this where they think they're going to get it, Asmussen wins it.
Yeah, well, I already made that note. Like, there's a lot of guys in here and gals looking for their first win.
No, it could happen.
And I'm just going to roll the dice with Tammy here on this one. I
wouldn't be surprised on your selection though.
She'll surprise. She once in a while. I mean, look, Tammy will surprise you. And this one they tried some things, and they tried the big money. I mean, those are all big purses. Even the 10,000 starter, that's probably a $50,000-$60,000 purse. I have to go back and look at it, but and then the other 2 races were 140. I mean, those allowance races really tough. So even the last race, I mean. That starter allowance. I mean, Royal Megan. I like that horse a lot. Condiment Girl, 87 by her speed figure last time. I mean, and it just romped. So, there's nothing in here like that today, and that's my thinking. And 8-1, 8-1's a nice price. All right, so the next race is the one we had both the same pick. Race number 2, we are both on the 2. And this is a maiden 20 event for fillies and mares. I'll let you start out.
Yeah, I landed on differently. And the bug jockey, Belmer, got a 10-pound weight allowance. So she's making her second career start. She raced pretty much wide the whole time in the debut.
Yep.
And we got tired. I mean, I watched that replay over and over. It was just wide.
Mm-hmm.
I think there was something to build on off that run. It didn't look like she wanted to quit. I think she just had to because she was tired. So the blinkers are going on. You're moving into an inside post. And I think with the one not trying to go for the lead, I think the rail position is going to be there. And I'd like to see her right in the front, right from the bell.
Yeah, I mean, pretty much said everything. My notes are hood goes on, was wide last, trainer 31% off these small layoffs like this. And you're getting 10 pounds. And you're a wire threat here. So probably going to go right to the front. And
I'm hoping. That's what I'm hoping.
Going right to the front. And Belmer, I talked to him in the paddock when we saddled Midnight Special. And he was joking. We were talking about his rail runs, and he's like, Calvin Borel. I guess Burrell was his.
Burrell on the rail.
Burrell is like his boyhood idol. So, and he rides like him.
Yeah, that's like a little saying around here. Burrell on the rail.
Yeah, well, he was saying it, and he rides like him. So if you watch this kid,
that's nice.
He takes the shortest path and isn't afraid to go through any hole. But with this filly here, I think the idea there's no holes to worry about. You just kind of break sharp and just go. So the backups, I mean, you had the 1, makes sense. My 9 makes sense. Getting back on dirt with that big number from Ellis. So I don't think we have to spend too much time. I think we're probably going to, if we put a pick 5 together, which I put together a late pick 5, but we'll probably single the 2 on our ticket when we discuss this further. Race 3 is a $10,000 conditional claiming race for $31,000. They're going 3 quarters, 6 furlongs, Colts and Geldings. We both actually landed on the same horse again, the 11 horse. And I like the fact that this one exits a really tough race and it should clear from the outside. Now I get it. This is going to be probably a chalky race. I like, the 11 over the 5. The 5 is the 9-5 favorite.
Mm-hmm.
But, Creekmore exits just a really, really tough race. Bandera Azteca has been really good and ran a nice second in the starter allowance with an 82 by her speed figure in its last, and ran it just against a buzzsaw. And that's a nice animal that came out here from California. So the races over there in St. Louis are really good. And I think down here at this level, not worrying about a Bandera Azteca, I think we're gonna be in really good shape, and I think we're gonna break sharp and probably a wire here with Diodoro and Hernandez.
I agree, and Diodoro, first off the claim, he seems to always know what to do right away, and he's good at it. So, and this horse likes to win.
Yeah, it's a 7-year-old, 11 wins, 13 seconds, professional racehorse. It's got, hey, these horses can run 7, 8, 9 years old, and you keep them together. And this horse is feeling pretty good. I mean, that was just way too tough. It was, I understand it's, got a wide outside post again, like it did last time, but it just wasn't going to get the lead last time. They went 22 flat on a muddy track. and it just wasn't going to happen. Today, I think it will get the front rather easily, I believe. So we'll see what happens. I just feel like it's a $10,000 race like it was last time, but it's an easier race from some of the company lines. That's my feeling on it. Okay, race number 4. Maiden 12.5.
Mhm.
And is this a family horse race? It is. Tell me what you like about My Brother Mike.
I'm sticking with him. We got My Brother Mike. Well, he ran actually a third last out, improved at Oaklawn here a lot. And look, I'm giving him one more chance. I said that was it last time, but this time I actually kind of like the way he ran. And I actually think this spot in this race is actually a little easier. I don't think there's no clear cut one to beat here. So he's got a legitimate chance in winning this race.
Excuse me.
For sure. So let's give him one more crack. And if he doesn't do it this time, I'll pick him again next time.
Yeah, this race is loaded with pace. My brother Mike ran an exceptional race last time to finish third because Memes was a really good. That was the consensus like pick and odds-on favorite in that last race, and it won like we thought it would. The one thing that bothers me about My Brother Mike is the fact that this race came up on an overnight and we entered the horse, and Belmer has first call, but he already committed to a mount in here.
That was disappointing to see that.
Yes, and he tried to get out of it, but it's unprofessional to get off of a mount after you speak for one. So he stayed there. Vasquez has ridden this horse before. That was at 2 turns. So he has done well, did well sprinting. At this level, if you look at the race, my top pick is the 11. The 11 is going to be pretty tough second off the layoff and dropping and, hasn't shown much, but it's been running in some really good horses in its career. So it should naturally just kind of flow into this race real nice. And with all the speed, it should get the nice trip. And Mac Robertson, like I said, when I picked his only winner, I'm like, this guy's too good of a trainer to be 0 for 30. And he finally won. And he might start winning a lot of races. So I got Violent River on the class drop with the pace to run into over My Brother Mike, who will also be running late. And I might have picked My Brother Mike if I had Belmer in the irons, but either way, we'll have both these horses on our exotics. You got the 13 if it gets in, and it makes perfect sense.
It's the Asmussen dropper.
Yeah, that thing running for 50. Now and that wasn't that number isn't that bad for this field. So
no, I'm keeping my eye on this horse probably throughout this meet too, because eventually he's going to be put in a spot where he's going to win.
Right, and if it gets in, it could be this race. So
and it could be this race, yes.
So, all right. Well, let's see if the family horse can get it done.
Let's go, My Brother Mike.
We have another announcement to make too. I totally forgot at the beginning of the show. Our brother Danny.
Oh yeah,
he is. He's got his trainer's license.
Congrats to my brother Danny.
Yeah, maybe we'll get a horse. Call it My Brother Danny.
put a lot of hard work into that. So it'll pay off good for him. He knows what he's doing though.
Yeah. So he's getting some things together, and we'll see. He's going to need some equipment and some other stuff. Got to get some insurance. I don't know, whatever is involved with being a trainer. I'm sure he's got to get some
Well,
buckets, saddles, and
there's a lot of things you got to do, and and there's a whole nother, the business side to it all, and then all the good stuff.
Yeah, so that's going to be exciting. All right. Race 5 we're on, right? Yes, we both land on the 6 here, Marco. This is a state-bred Archie allowance. Big purse, $143,000. Tell me about the 6 horse here, King Peanut.
Second off the layoff. Started his career off really nice. Kind of threw a dud in that first off the layoff here, opening up this meet for him. Understandable because he hasn't ran since last May. But this is Daniel Pites, it's your guy, and that was there's a couple good horses that he ran in against that last race too. I thought I actually picked Bohemian Bowl last out, but my bomber beat him at 39-1, and then also 110 Stadium. I have him picked, I think, underneath today. So I think second off the layoff and the beautiful work on February 1st, King Peanut is ready.
Yeah, King Peanut. That wasn't even really a bad race. Little slightly wide, but it probably needed that race.
For sure.
That's
for
obvious. Sure. And it's been working great, even before and now after. And that race tightened, this colt up big time. And he's a stakes winner, and missed another stake by a neck. And very lightly raced, but very professional. So I think he's the best horse in the field. And if we do get that rain, I like how it ran in the slop back in its second start. So it showed it can run on it. So we'll see. We'll see. Danny Pites, I picked a couple of his horses. He won one of them for sure, and one underneath. But he's starting to get hot. He's only got 9 starts, 2 wins. He used to train. I mentioned this to somebody somewhere. He trained Tower of Hope back in 1997 in New York. So for Dad and RC and Davey. So it's cool to see an old name like that pop up. But yeah, King Peanuts looks like the one here, and 8-1. I mean, I'm like looking at that. I mean, the rest of the field, it's a very contentious field. A lot of these have kind of they've run a lot of races. A lot of them haven't won very often. I mean, I guess the 4 has done some good work, but I don't know. I just feel like I think King Peanut is the class. Willow Creek Road, kind of like whatever you said about King Peanut, you could say about him. Needed a race, working well before and after that last race. Now, his race is a little bit more of a head scratcher in there. But, maybe it was a little bit more wider. But, it deserves another crack as well. So those are the 2 horses. And, obviously the 6 is on top. You had the 2 as your backup? 110 Stadium? Yeah, that makes sense.
He can definitely get into the exotics, or if you see a fast pace, maybe pass them all. He passes up horses, and I like that. And he's coming third out, and I like the connection. So
Okay. All right. The next, the late pick five, Marco. I put a ticket together with us. The late pick five is sponsored by Rocky's Corner. Rocky's Corner. Get yourself some pizza, beef sandwiches. I get as I mentioned before, the gluten-free crust. For those of you that like that, they have that because I know a lot of people ask for that and they don't know if these places have it or not. They have it. There was a chicken wing order that got canceled or something, and I ate some chicken wings there last Saturday night. Oh,
Yes.
those are good too.
Oh, they're very good. You can wash those down with a nice
Yeah,
cold beer.
I thought they were better than Wingstop, so pretty good. Good atmosphere. You can have a drink, watch a game. Head over to Rocky's Corner if you guys are in town. The late pick five, I'll scroll it on the bottom. I got a $120 ticket. And we're going to single here because we both like the same runner. This is a 20,000 non-winners of two event for Colts and Geldings. And I landed on Balsa. And Balsa, if we do get that rain, the afternoon shower or whatever, it romped in the mud in a maiden special weight at Indiana. Mm-hmm. But even then, it's fast. You know, it's got a lot of speed. It's fast, and it might be the controlling speed in here. There's probably a couple other in here that just the inside that has an early time form number that's up there. But we're on the outside of that one, which I like. And we should be able to outpace that one. And, you know, it's coming in from Churchill. And I remember Broberg, when we had him on, he mentioned something saying that these horses coming in from, you know, out of town, they didn't miss a lot of training. So was working down at Louisiana Downs. Then came back with a January 28th work. So should be ready to go right off the bench here. The Asmussen clan, and let's see if we can let him rip. Claim this horse for $30,000 and well met here. I'm not worried about the $10,000 drop just because of the purses here at Oaklawn. $35,000 purse. What did you like about Balsa?
Yeah, I didn't let that scare me either. Yeah, 'cause, I mean, at first glance, you're thinking maybe there's a little bit of speed in this race. And then you're like, well, not really. And then I kept on landing on Balsa. I'm like, you know, this horse is going to be out there and it's going to be hard to catch him. That was my thinking. And I'm expecting an early pace and hang on. So, and the one, we both got the one in second. That horse likes to try, and I think that horse is going to give him some fits at the wire, but I don't think Balsa is going to yield at all. So I think that's a good exacta, like a ice cold exacta, I believe is what the play is here. That's what I'm going to play. 4-1.
Yeah, Vale or Vale, however you want to pronounce it. Cipriano Contreras is just lighting it up.
Mm-hmm.
So it's interesting because he claimed this horse from the Asmussen barn. So I just didn't like the rail post on that one. I wanted to pick it on top. I just didn't want to be down there. And I think the horse is very talented in this spot and has a big shot. I just like that we're going to be breaking outside of that one and letting things develop, you know. So I think if you reverse the posts, I'd probably go with Contreras, the Contreras runner, but Balsa's in the 4-hole, so I like it better there. All right. Race 7. We're a lot different on this one. We've had some of the that have been the same, so we're not always going to be landing on the same horse. These are straight 3-year-olds, maiden $30,000 for colts. My horse was Notorious 602 for Chris Hartman, and I think this is a serious wire threat here. And Belmer with Hartman are already at 50%. They've had 4 starts together and they won 2 of them. What a really nice ROI, obviously. And I love the drills coming in. Got a little bit of a foundation there, and you're dropping a little bit, going from Zimmerman to Belmer. I think, I just think Belmer's a better rider, and you're getting 10 pounds. But I think the idea here is just go to the front and say bye-bye. 8-1 would be a dream. If I get 8-1 on this horse, on this colt, I will have a huge win bet, and I'll key it for like a $10 trifecta over, I don't know, your horse, my horse, maybe another one on the back end, the 4, the 12, and somebody else. The 10 and the 10 as well. The 10 is your top pick. Golden Diversion.
Yeah, kind of saw this slightly different.
Okay.
I was looking at Notorious 602 for a while. I'm like, the horse looks like a nice pick, and then I'm just kind of looking, and I just keep on seeing like horses that don't really have a chance to wire going out and just screwing him up.
Mm-hmm.
Like Louis Quinones on the 7 here. Let's just go, and I'm kind of hoping for this now. Like Ask Willie, the 8, he might just go. The 9, just go, and I'm, Mischievous Max, go.
Well, okay.
I'm hoping
Excuse
the
me.
more the merrier.
I think the 8's cutting back. Now, albeit you are dropping down on a main special weight. But I mean, I don't know. I don't think it's shown like some crazy speed, and I don't think that one's gonna go. Superhero. I mean, they show a little bit of speed. 3 races back.
I mean, I could just see Louis Quinones just getting out of the gate and just going, and then end up finishing last. Something like that.
I think the 9 with the what's her name, Jordan, Kylie Jordan. I think that's one that kind of might muddy up the front a little bit because she likes to go one way anyway. Okay, I get it. But go ahead and finish what you're telling.
I'm just hoping that's what happens in this race, and that's not going to be good for really any of them. If it's all like a scramble.
Mm-hmm.
And Golden Diversion has had some issues in both starts. And I think he showed like good late energy in both races, though. It might not look like it, but I was watching replays and I just liked his energy later in the races. And I think he's capable of blowing it up at 20-1. It's my long shot play of the day. I think I'm hoping like I see that pace go down there, and then he starts passing some horses. He's on the grandstand side, and just give me that good run. Give me a good thrill.
Yeah, the debut was good. Didn't lose by much to my horse.
In the last out, it was a sloppy track. He kind of broke, kind of in the rear, and he was getting splashed. It just wasn't good. Then he couldn't find anywhere to go. It was really green, kind of squirrely all over the track, and really both of them. Not all over the track, but uncomfortable. May need blinkers to keep him straight, or this one may end up needing a longer race. So we'll see what happens this one. But I like him at 20-1.
Interesting. Yeah, another one that caught my eye was the 11. I didn't throw it on my ticket. I would probably maybe put it on a. Might have to add it to our pick 5. Claimed by Contreras for 40, dropping down for 30, and
Yeah.
might be another one that might press on the outside and keep going today if it can clear.
Getting that juice.
Yeah, another one to
And
think about.
This guy is on fire, and plus, 27% for his claim.
Yeah, the 4 Catalina Crush was my backup with Norm Cassie. I mean, it's running those maiden specials and 100,000 maiden claiming events. Getting back to reality here from 2 to 3. My thinking is it was already fast compared to these, and it's probably grown up a little bit. And I mean, just on pure speed figures, it should be tough to handle here. It's just not exciting to pick it on top. It has been the beaten favorite the last 2. So, and it was dropping out of New York bred races, state bred maiden specials, and to open company, which I think that's a lateral move. New York maiden specials to maiden, 100. It pretty much ran the same races. So,
and also the 12. If you get that pace, it's the Asmussen horse. Can't leave off at all.
Yeah.
So.
Well, as of right now, this is the first leg or second leg. What leg is this? This is race 7. Second leg. What do I have? I have 2, 3, 4, 9 on there. How do I have 2, 3, 4, 9? No, I have 1, 2, 3, 4. How do I have 1, 2, 3, 4? I must have did something wrong.
Yeah, you don't have any of my picks on there, man.
No, I looked at your picks.
No confidence.
No, I did something wrong here. We singled the 4.
I know I've been a little cold.
How did I get 1, 2, 3, 4? Race 7. Oh, you got the 10 and the 12. That's why. All right, so let's redo this.
Yeah, leave the 10 off at 20 to 1, and if it wins.
All right, so we're gonna go actually 3, 4, 10, 12. But we like. Who else do we like? We like the 11 and 12.
Yeah, the 11. The 11's very interesting. I mean, I wouldn't be surprised if that horse won.
Like 11. So we like 3, 4, 10, 11, 12 in there.
And these are young horses, and
I don't know how I looked at that wrong, but
he's gotta find the one that has a light bulb going off.
All right, how much does that make the ticket now? Grab a calculator. Simple math here for the 50 cent divided by 2. So we're 5. Well, 1 by 5 by 4 by 3 by 5. So it's $150. Yeah, $150 for 50 cents. All right. Hopefully I didn't screw up the rest of the numbers. If I did, we'll figure that out. All right. Well, we'll see what happens, man. That'll be, you never know with those maiden 30s. And sometimes these 3-year-olds, they just like pop out of nowhere. And then there might be something in here that eventually could be allowance runner down the line. Race 8, I got the 3 over the 2. You got the 9 over the 4. And those are the 4 numbers that I put on our ticket. You want to start us off with your 9 horse?
This is
it's claiming 50. Look at that purse, 68 grand. 50,000. They're going 2 turns.
Man, I picked another Asmussen horse. What do you know?
Okay.
I want this one to be a little bit closer. I want him to be more like 2 to 3 lengths behind early, and not 16 and 9 lengths behind. He's got an awful start last out and made a good run and ended up in 5th. It's not how this horse gets things done. If it's closer, it could definitely catch them. It's a nice racehorse. And I believe we have some speed in here to run into. And it's Asmussen. This is my pick, and I picked him last time, and I saw him that he got out of the gate slow, and so I'm hopping right back aboard.
Okay. Well, I like the 3 Camp David. I think Camp David's gonna. I mean, first of all, it exits a monster race. I mean, just go back and look some of the runners in there. I like the way it ran last time. It was in contention. It was just way too tough of a race. Notary, Money Supply, Scapologist. I mean, there's some other runners in there, 95, 94 buyer speed figures. I mean, these horses were just way too tough. I think I'm going to get the same trip last time, but I'm going to find a pocket and keep going this time. This race is much easier. I just, from that post, I should sit the trip. Wow. Now, the last time I was in the 1 hole, and probably was a little bit more keen just because of the post. 3 hole I like better. And yeah, man, I mean, if you I mean, here, let me just look at that race, January 2nd.
Okay, a lot of those horses that you just mentioned,
here,
my pick has ran against all those 2 last out, but in a separate race. It's funny.
Yeah, well, Money Supply got a 93 buyer last time. Is on a 4 race winning streak and won 5 of its last 6. Notary won its last race by 5 with a 94 buyer speed figure. Escapologist is just always there, just for Kenny McPeak, just running big number after big number. I picked Bear Oak, who ran 4th in there. He won next out in a starter allowance. And then, you know, Ardenwood is freaky fast. Hasn't put anything together here at Oaklawn yet, and I actually picked him as my long shot play earlier in the meet. But I think it's just a matter of time before he catches a field where he wires. And you know, I'm just there's all these horses I named would beat this field. So now looking at your horse, yeah, you've run against. Let's see, who'd you pick? You picked the 9. Yeah, you ran against these last time and held your own as well, so it makes sense. You know, you're 5-1.
Yeah, I'm
going to be 8-1, whatever. But yeah, I mean, those are. I just like the class relief from that last, and I think I'm going to get a similar trip, but it's going to be even better, and I think he'll keep going this time. That's my hope. My backup was the 2, just because it you know, it exits that same race, and try to, you know, Camp David did beat it at the wire, and I didn't really get a good look at the gallop out, but those were the 2 that are like exiting that race. I think that's a key race. I think you're going to see a lot of next out winners out of that last race, that Money Supply one. That's just my thinking. The 4 Perfect Flight was your backup with Pete Miller. It makes perfect sense.
Yeah, 2-1. I mean, it lost against Frosted Grace, nice horse, and Pat's Property, who's running in race number 9 in Friday's card. So
yeah, the feature, Pat's Property's in the feature, and that one coming in from California ran last time for 62.5. Now it's down in for 50. So, and it's Pete Miller. You know, Pete Miller has been firing a few races here and there. So,
and I believe this one's going to take some money at the window as well. So,
all right. The 9th race, we got our Friday guy. Let's get him on the phone here.
I can't hear you. You gotta turn your mic on.
My bad. There it is. I
Wow.
took it out because I wanted you to hear. So, Nick, I've got you on for the feature. We're going to be talking about race 9. It's an optional claiming $75,000 race, $143,000 purse going the short stretch of the mile at Oaklawn. So, you got to remember that. So, why don't you kind of tell us what you were thinking here and who you like?
I like the 7 in this race because basically you get 10 pounds off of the apprentice jockey Belmere, and Chris Whitman's training the horse, and the connections have been hitting the board at a 50% clip. So
Okay. So the idea. So what do you think the idea is going to be here? You're probably going to go press the pace here. Are you going to sit
I
just
think
off
the
of it?
horse will be closing.
You think this one will be closing?
Yeah.
Okay. Well,
Most of the Hartman horses have been closing when Belmere rides.
okay. Well, we've been bragging about Belmer all day for all for the whole entire webcast. If you're looking for him to close, he has been showing a lot of speed. I do like the fact that you're getting the 10 pounds for a 2-turn race. I guess you could look at February 26th, a couple of years ago, where he was 7th and 5th early, laid off the pace, and then came home fast with Arietta and beat Pat's Property in that race. And that was, wow, 2 years ago. Has shown a lot of speed lately. Last time it ran a mile and 3/16, which is an unusual distance here. Tried to make a move into that and then kind of flattened out. So maybe the cut back in distance and second time off the layoff angle will be the winning ticket.
There is that possibility of him closing. If he's a speed horse, hope he lasts to the end of the race.
Okay.
Yeah, it looks like I think he can be up front and he can come off the pace. He's pretty versatile. I mean, he's done it before. He beat Pat's Property coming off the pace. So
Okay.
not bad. That was at Oaklawn in 22. I mean, horse for course. 7 out of 8 in the money. I like it, Nick.
Yeah, 3 wins, 2 seconds, 2/3. And I know you love Bug Boys when they take that weight off. It especially if you got a good one like Belmer. After saying that, me and Marco land on a horse that we had a trip note on, 2 back, and we both like number 4, Pain. A little bit long in the tooth, but this horse loves to run. Asmussen trainee. It's run against a who's who list of crazy sprinters. Last time it ran against Skelly. He's probably going to win the Count Fleet and be in the Breeders' Cup Sprint. 2 back, it ran a really good race. It got a little bit tight on the rail and damn near won that and galloped out well.
And Stage Left is a very nice horse, has 700K in earnings.
Right. And I like, this horse has run long. It has 2 wins at the distance. The stretch out, I think, is going to be really neat. Has won twice at this distance. And, I mean, the company lines, guys, just go down the company lines the last 10 races. A lot of Skellies in there, a lot of edge to edges in there. Misha, that's, I think, yeah, that one's tough. Coastal Mission, Traeger, another nice one. Excuse me. So I like the fact that it could show maybe some natural speed going 2 turns, should sit in a nice pocket, and maybe do a similar run like it did 2 back, but get a clearer run. The last time it ran a mile race, it just missed by a neck at Churchill Downs, but that was a 1-turn race. So the last time this horse has run 2 turns was for 50 at Keeneland, and it didn't embarrass itself with a close 4th. And it, like I said, it has won here as well. Marco, what were you thinking with Payne?
I'm thinking pretty much similar. I don't want to see him really too far back. I think he's going to be one of like he could even press it, and he's going to be that horse that's not going away down the stretch. He's going to be bugging you, and he ain't going anywhere. You're not going to discourage him. This horse, like you said, he's seen some better runners. He's seen some monster horses, so he's not going to be scared off, and he ain't going away, and he should be right there at the end. I like him a lot right here. 12-1. I think is going to be very generous if we get that.
Right.
I think it's gonna be less than 10-1. So
really,
I think we're gonna get I think it's gonna be more like 6-7.
Okay.
That's what I think. If we get 12-1, hey, more the merrier. I would love to have 12-1 on Payne.
My backup was Hayes Strike for McPeak. McPeak had a great weekend, great Saturday. Won the American Beauty, won the Southwest, and he's got Esquivel coming in on this colt from coming in from the Indiana Derby. It needed a breather. It puts good efforts in there in those listed stakes. It won the Texas Derby. It tries the Bluegrass and then the Ohio Derby or against Two Phils, and I guess it didn't embarrass itself against Two Phils, but Two Phils crushed them by 12. The Indiana Derby was just a total fiasco. So the time off and the late run is, if things get really spicy up there, I feel like Hayes Strike is one that's going to be heard from late. And there is some early speed in here. It's going to be interesting to see what Nick's pick does with Belmer, with all the other early types. The 10 was your backup, Marco. Pat's Property, and Pat's Property is another one that kind of likes to be on the muscle early.
Yeah, and this will be his third out. Run a real tough race last. I watched that replay, and he was going, and Frosted Grace. I mean, that's a good horse, and beat Perfect Flight. Who I picked second in the last race, but Perfect Flight may even be able to contend in this race,
Right.
But third off the layoff, and this horse is going to be up there early, and I don't think this is another one that's going to be discouraged. He can run. He can run. He can run. He can run this distance. And he loves Oaklawn. He's 9 out of 11 in the money.
Right.
And
I remember I picked him at the
course.
Yeah.
And I think he's in perfect form right now for another monster.
Nick, did you have any opinions on a backup selection or some other horses you might like?
I'm looking at Major Blue, the Lucas horse. That might be a horse that might show up, in the race. Lucas is struggling winning races, It's time that, maybe Nick Juarez has been showing up, riding a little bit better, but Lucas horses haven't really been showing up, I mean, he is, should be included in your tickets, your exotics, your pick 3s, pick 4s, and your pick 5 wagers.
Yeah, that's another one that's stretching out, and it's going to be interesting to see. I would imagine from that 3 post, stretching out and wiring, pressing the pace and winning at 6 panels last time. I see Major Blue on the lead. So I think with the short stretch, I think the idea is going to be go right to the front, and then just try to hang on, down the lane. I mean, I don't think there's any other way for this one to go. It has run 2 turns several times. It likes Oaklawn. It's 3 for 5 at Oaklawn. It has 1 win at the distance. It broke its maiden here at this trip at Oaklawn Park. So, Major Blue could be a player. I actually picked Major Blue last time at 14-1, as a matter of fact, on our show. So,
this is one that can spring away and maybe never catch.
I do want to mention one other runner here, and it's B Doc. Doug O'Neill's bringing this one in. This horse was pretty fast and has run some fast 2-turn races. It was off for a long time. It ran once last year in December though, so it took a year off, and it definitely needed that last race. It's got some good works. If it comes close to any of those numbers from 2 years ago, this one could jump up, and it might be another one to throw on your ticket. You have any thoughts on that one?
No, there's a lot of this is our feature race, and it's meant to be competitive, and I think this race is very competitive. There's a lot of horses trying different things. You never know what's going to happen. I mean, how many horses are going to the short stretch of the mile from different races, going long, going short.
Right.
So there's a lot of question marks for a lot of horses here, but
and we didn't even talk about Command Performance, which is Justin Dew's horse.
Yeah, things get spicy, and they can.
Right.
This horse can definitely
make a late
move in the rain and win. And Command Performance, last couple of races didn't probably.
Last race wasn't that bad.
No, but I think it was less than expectations for a lot, and this is one that could probably get like a layover, and you might see 10-1 and might want to bet it. I don't know.
Yeah, those Kentucky races were so damn good. Beat Escapologist. And then you look at the last two at Oaklawn, and you're like, gosh, I mean, maybe it doesn't like Oaklawn. That could be a conclusion you can come to. Or it doesn't run as well here. But
I mean,
it might get a setup. It's going to be an interesting race. Nick, what do you got going on this weekend, Nick?
Oh, just watch the Oaklawn races, and enjoy the racing from Oaklawn.
I wanted to ask you, who do you like in the Super Bowl?
Who do I like in the Super Bowl? I will tell you, Kansas City.
So you like Kansas City plus, what are they, plus 2.5 right now? I think that's a point spread. But you like them on the money line?
I usually do the point spread.
So you'll take them plus the 2 in the hook. Okay. All right. Well, me and cousin Poncho have a Brock Purdy 1-of-1 football card. I think it's a Dunruss Optic rated rookie, gold vinyl. I think that's what it is. It's on Golden Auctions. If anybody is interested in bidding on a really nice piece of memorabilia, that's one of the best cards you can get. So go on Golden Auctions and check out the Brock Purdy gold vinyl 1-of-1 rated rookie, PSA 9 Auto 10. All right, Nick. Well, hey, thanks for joining us. We'll look out for your horse. Your top pick again is number 7, Santos Dumont. It is a potential tote board killer. So
it could happen.
Yep. All right. Well, you have a good evening, Nick, and we'll see you next Friday.
Yes.
All right. Bye-bye.
Bye, Nick.
All right, so that was Nick the Kid. Nick the Kid, he knows what he's doing. It's good to talk to him. Get him on every Friday. Every Friday show.
Always got a 20-1 shot in the feature at Oaklawn. Not improbable, not impossible.
Not impossible at all. God, my throat is so scratchy. Gotta get over this.
Well, we got race 10, and then you can go medicate.
Yeah, I'm gonna take some vitamin C and watch some TV. Race 10. I think these, yeah, these are the Archie breds.
He's already Archie bred.
45,000 maiden claiming Arkansas breds.
These are the fun races.
So, I went with the Starfish Stable connections of Linda Robbins, Jamie Gonzalez. This one here is what are my notes here? I got the bug again. I think the idea here with the blinkers coming off, maybe they're going to try and relax this one. And it's it got wide posts every time, and we're getting a wide post again. But I think they, John Court, Bejarano tried to wire from the outside in the first race. John Court last time pressed and just was 4 wide and flat. And I think taking the hood off, I think they're just going to be like, you know what, we're gonna break clean. We're gonna find a spot and kind of like come from mid pack this time, and that might be the winning move in here. It's fast. The 9 looks like it might show a little bit of speed. The 8's been, it's going to go. You don't know what the 7's going to do. It's a firster. The 4, I think it's just a bad horse. The 2 is Tammy Hornsby. It's probably going to go to the front. I try, it's got a nice drill out of the gate, so I would imagine they're going to try and go from 2-hole. So if I can get that second flight, maybe lay 4th this time and tuck in a little bit. That's my thinking. And the 44 number is actually decent, in here. There's a couple other ones that have run faster. But I do have the right to move forward third start, 100%. The backup was Ches Wiz.
I took that horse this meet at some point. I remember that. Probably last time I ran there because it looks like it had some equipment change. Second time blinkers, huh?
Yeah, that's why I picked it. Second time blinkers, and that was a good number. And it's going to be coming off of the pace as well. If there's something hot, it can, Christian Torres can maybe come up the middle and do another late rally and win it. But it's going to be one of those fun races to bet. And if you're live in the pick 5, the will pays are going to be really fun. So you landed on, you like the 12, but if you want the 13 to get in.
Yeah. On December 29th, my picks in that race, and they're both debuts, it was Jaeger Strategy over Streak and Deacon. And that's how I landed on this race exactly again. Didn't plan it that way. It just happened identical. So, and then in that debut race, it was a maiden 50, 55 or whatever it was, optional. So, Streak and Deacon got to the lead and, faded. Actually got bid down to the favorite. But my pick, Jaeger Strategy, was splitting horses coming and missed barely. He had trouble in that race, and I thought he was a winner coming down the lane. And then I was actually kind of disappointed to see him because I actually wanted to play him again the very next out, but he stepped up to a maiden special weight, and he got crushed. And it was in the slop, and I'm throwing a line through that race, and now he's back here pretty much in the same race, and I just like him all over again. And he was 6-1 in debut, and he's 20-1 now. I'm taking that all day long.
Yeah, I mean, honestly, this is basically the same level as the debut where it ran a winning race, and I mean, you run in a maiden special weight event. Who cares if you get crushed by 20? You're back. You're stepping back down.
Never showed up,
Yeah. So you could draw a line through those all the time. So duly noted on that. I for the purposes of the pick 5, I wanted to throw in the 8 and the 9. The 9's more of a saver just because that last number was big, and if it runs that, it's going to be tough. And obviously the 8 is stepping down from
Yeah.
The
Yeah.
maiden specials as well, second off of a layoff. This guy, was running in New York, and I picked this horse last time, and that's what I said. This is a New York runner. I think Nick Tamaro was on the show the day I picked it. I think he picked the winner that day. But
Gotta leave. Gotta keep the 8 on there. Gotta throw.
What I said that day was, hey, this horse is running an open company at Saratoga, and I know one of those was a restricted race, but it was Saratoga, and it ran third. So I'm like, it's gonna show up here. It showed speed and it faded way out. So now you're taking a plunge again, second off the layoff. I had to throw it in there, and I couldn't leave it off my ticket when I picked it last time. So I just don't like it on top. I think it's going to take some money, just because, dropping out of the main special. So
yeah, that could definitely be the winning recipe too,
but it could definitely win the race.
Yeah.
And I was just looking for, a better price, and that's why I landed on the 12. The 12's 15 to 1. Okay. But yeah, both of our picks are big bombs. We got.
All right, so now real quick on the pick 5, if the 13 does not get in, are we going to have an alternate to throw in there?
Yeah, we'll throw an alternate in.
So
hell, we throw in a horse. Anyway, why, you have something else you like?
No, I was just wondering, to keep the ticket structured the same price and all that.
Well, it'll be. What will it be? 120 if we take a horse out, if the 13 don't get in, I think. But I guess you could throw in. What do you think about Burrow McBride in the 3-hole with the bug?
Man, it's funny you said that.
Were you looking at that one?
I was actually just thinking, man, is this one of those Arkansas races that Burrow just wins?
Yeah.
And I mean, you're second off, and it kind of was involved maybe in the last race, and faded, and maybe it just needs to run into shape. Sometimes, that's what they need. And
I don't know. Maybe we could throw.
I don't know. There. We'll see what happens. But I hope the 13 gets in, because I really like that horse in this spot. And if I get 20 to 1, I will be extremely happy, because I think that horse will win this race.
Yeah.
That's just me, though.
Well, I think it was a good show. We got our picks in. Guys, I hope we pick some winners as good as we did last week. I feel good about the card. I always feel good about them, but we always spend a lot of time on the show and putting these picks together. If you guys can like and subscribe to our channel and tell us a couple of people about the show, we would greatly appreciate it. If you find this content to your liking. Marco Dylan Donnelly will be on the show for Saturday. We're going to record that tomorrow night.
Great.
And that's going to be fun. Dylan.
Last time he was on the show, he hit what? Something big.
Oh, he won a $20,000 try and a $10,000 exacta.
Yeah, so tune in.
That was really good. But anyway, I guess that's it, man. Anything else to add?
No, I'm still looking for an NHC seat, so let's keep that going. Let's go. There's another congrats to my brother, our brother Daniel, however you guys want to call him. We'll call him the Bulldog. So congrats against him for his trainer's license. I can't wait for the Smotovich Racing Stables in the future. It's going to be so awesome.
It's going to be so cool, man. All right, man. Well, all right, Marco, as we like to say, let's cash
some tickets.
Let's cash some tickets like we did last week.
All righty. Later.
See you guys. I'm going to bed.
Lock and load.